So this is how we're going to start. First, I'm going to start heating my pan so I can get nice and hot. And I'm going to put the broiler on high. And I'm going to put the sheet pan in the oven so the sheet pan can get hot. And I'm going to cook the fish on this. It'll cook from the bottom because the pan is hot. I'm going to stick it under the hot broiler so it'll cook on the bottom and the top at the same time. So, I'll stick this under the broiler on high. Our Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven, is heating up. And we're going to use the microwave. I know a lot of people feel funny about using the microwave. You can, of course, heat up, things on the stove, but we're trying to really rush this. I didn't set the timer. Wait. Kitchen timer. 6. Start. Okay. I didn't set the timer. So 6 minutes. We're going to heat up our chicken broth and our canned tomatoes in the microwave so that when we add it into the pasta, it's already going to be just about boiling. So that's a quick, shortcut you can do. Use your microwave. If you don't like using the microwave, of course you can do another pot on the stove and heat up your broth and your tomato juice there. But we're going to do it in the microwave. So we're going to do 2 cups of chicken broth. There we go. And a can of tomatoes. Ooh, that's not good. Get that out of there. I'm going to put this in the microwave. Pardon me for a second. We're good. There we go. And let that get started. So that's heating up. We're going to put a little oil in there. Let that get hot. That was about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. You can use whatever neutral vegetable oil you like. You probably can't see. I'm going to chop up half an onion and half a red pepper and add that in and let that saute for a few minutes. This is real time, so we're going to see if I can really cook a real full meal in less than 6 minutes. So pardon me if I can't answer your questions because I gotta look at what I'm doing. I don't want to cut my fingers live on Periscope. That would be bad. But I will take questions after. Alright. Drop that in. Ooh, that is nice and hot. So that's half an onion. I'm going to do about half this bell pepper, red pepper. And we're going to cook this just until it softens. That's actually a little bit too hot. So turn that down. We just want it to soften, but we want it to soften quickly. All right. I need to get a wooden spoon so I can stir that around. So let me get the red peppers going. All right, diced red peppers. That's going in there. There we go. The wooden spoon. There we go. I'm going to stir that around. I don't have my vent on. So if it gets a little smoky, I might set my smoke alarm off. Forgive me. I'll try not to. I'll try to watch the temperature. All right. I'm going to just move these to the side. We don't need this. Well, actually, we do need this. So then can't forget the garlic. Garlic is super important. It's going to add a lot of flavor. So you really want to add the garlic at the end so it doesn't burn. You don't want to burn your garlic. That is a no-no. I gotta get the fish in the oven right quick. Gonna chop this garlic pretty small and get that into there. Let's get this out of the way. I'm just going to move it back here. We don't need that anymore. Let that simmer down. Alright, let me get my fish out of the refrigerator, and I'm using Flounder. That's our broth. It's nice and hot. Not quite ready for it yet. So I'm going to put it back on for another 2 minutes. I'm going to dry the flounder off a little bit because we don't want it to be wet when we put it on the pan. We're going to season it, put it with some neutral oil, some more canola oil, into the oven. Ooh, 6 minutes goes really fast. That over here. I'm going to put a little oil on my fish. I'm going to season it with a little pepper, a little salt. There we go. A little garlic powder. And we're going to put it, wow, that was really fast. So I'm not going to make 6 minutes because time is almost up. That went by really fast. Let's see how long it does take us. Rub a little bit of oil onto the pan. Our pan should be hot. We'll put our fillets down. And pop that back under the broiler. Up. That was 6 minutes. That didn't make it. Let me wash my hands right quick. Let's see. Next thing I have to do is put this angel hair pasta, and it's super thin. So we'll put the angel hair pasta into our cast iron skillet. We're going to break it up. Okay. And break it up. And so since the chicken broth is already hot, it's going to cut our cooking time down. Just break that. Stir that around. Ooh, that's hot. That's steaming hot. I'm going to pour that in over the pasta. And we're going to let that pasta, we're going to cook it almost like risotto and have the liquid absorb into the pasta. Needs a little salt. A little more. And then we're going to put some broccoli florets on top. See. And I'm using a bagged broccoli florets, that's a big one, just to save time. I like to use whole broccoli when I can if I'm not like in a big hurry, because I love to use the stems, cut them up in stir fries. But, you know, I consider using pre-cut vegetables like this like like it's your sous chef. You know, sometimes you need a little extra hand in the kitchen, and this is a perfect thing to do. We're going to cover it and let that finish cooking. You can add in, let's say, some spinach in there if you want. Instead of, if you don't like broccoli, put some spinach in there. What else could you add? Asparagus would be good in that. That would be really tasty, actually. We're going to let that cook and clean up a little bit. Now we wait. Put that in there. Let's take a peek at our fish. See what's going on. Somehow our oven got turned off. I think when I was turning the timer off, I turned the broiler off. So we're not gonna make, we didn't make 6 minutes, but it's still pretty quick. We're at about 8 minutes, 10 minutes now. Not terrible, but it wasn't 6 minutes. But we're gonna let that finish. I'm gonna turn the heat up on here so it comes to a simmer and let that simmer down. We're just gonna let it cook. Dinner is ready. Our flounder we put in the oven on the hot sheet pan is done. Take a look at that. Like I said, we just heated the sheet pan under the broiler and then seasoned our flounder, put it on the hot pan, and then put it back under the broiler so it cooks on both sides at one time. That really reduces our cooking time. I'm going to squeeze a little lemon over it. Pardon my back. And that is done. Then I'll show you. See if you can see inside. Let me take the camera down so you can get a good view. Show you inside the pot. That is the finished pasta dish. We cooked the pasta like risotto. I did have to add a little bit more chicken broth so that, because it all cooked down really quickly. The broccoli is done. The pasta is done. The flounder is done. I didn't make it in under 6 minutes. We had some technical difficulties, but you gotta admit, we're still pretty fast. I think we were under like 10-15 minutes. So, dinner's ready. Let's plate it up. And I'll put the whole thing up on YouTube, the video on YouTube, and then I'll write out the whole recipe so you know exactly what we did. Turn that off. You see the angel hair pasta is so thin, it really just takes about 4 minutes for it to be completely cooked through. And our chicken broth and tomatoes was already hot because we put it in the microwave. That's finished. Put a little flounder on top. Look at that. Dinner is served. Oh,